Not weird, right? What? Okay, I'm live for the first time. Woo! Okay. Okay. So, last year I was at my Carmelite meeting, my religious Carmelite order. It's people who follow uh, a group of people who follow a saint to get to heaven. And during my Carmelite meeting, what happened was six different people from my religious order, they said to me, I'm sorry, the first one came up to me, pulled me to the side, and said, Angelica, we are living in the end times. And then a second one said, Angelica, we're living in the end times. Then a third one, then the sixth one. And I was thinking in my heart, in my head, what's going on here? And plus, backstory about me, I have two theology degrees. One from the Vatican. I studied in Rome theology. Theology means the sacred. It's theology is to teach what Jesus to the apostles passed down in the Catholic Church. All his dogmas, all his faith to follow him and to get to heaven. So when they said this to me, the first thing I thought was, okay, do you see in Revelation 13, do you see the Antichrist? Is he here? He's not here. Do you see the false prophet that makes miracles and he brings fire down from the heavens? He's not here either. But then one of the things about my Carmelite religious order is one of the gifts we do receive is the gift of prophecy. That's what God's plan is in the future for us so that we can prepare. So then after that, a couple months later, I end up in Kiev, Ukraine. And it's because my best friend Vesela, she wanted to see her ancestry. And before we went to Spain to see mine. And then so where we stayed was it was a Catholic church with a house in the back. And it was the Capuchins. It was the Capuchins. If you notice them, they wear a brown robe with a white tie belt, and they follow Saint Francis of Assisi. And the place in Kiev, Ukraine, where we stayed, there's a church on the left, and then in the back where we were, I don't know if you know right now, there's a war with Russia. Ukraine and Russia are fighting right now. Russia's trying to take over their country. So where we stayed was a housing facility with who mothers and children. The wife has become a widow, and the children, they lost their father because they fought in the war and they're staying there. So then after that, on the second day going there, we go to mass every day in the morning. Mass is where we worship. So if I'm turning this way, it's because my brother is helping me smile and telling me to keep my smile, my brother Edward. So yes, he's helping me. So on the second day, we go to mass. And Catholic Mass is where we worship Jesus Christ and we literally receive him in our heart. And the parish priest pointed to us after Mass and told us to go to the back. So we ended up in their building and he invited us for breakfast there. I can't believe it. We met all the Capuchins. And then my best friend Vesela, she's part of the School of Mary. And her founder is from Poland. And she found out that the Father Peter is there where we're staying. It's because what happened? Oh yes, it's because he had surgery and he ended up in Ukraine. So of course my best friend said, I want to meet him. So then what's interesting is he invited us. He actually invited us on May 13th in 2 days when we were in Kiev, Ukraine in 2019. And May 13th is a very, very particular special day in Catholic Church history. In May 13th, 1917, the Blessed Virgin Mary, who us Catholics call Our Lady, she is the mother of Jesus Christ. She appeared in Fatima, Portugal on May 13th, 1917 to three children. Their names were Lucia, Jacinta, and Francisco. And she made her first message. This founder, Father Peter of the School of Mary, invited us in May 13th in Ukraine. he made a new statue of Our Lady and erected it, and it is called, what is it called? Oh yes, Our Lady of Revelation. Again, that's the second time that the end times have come before me. Then what happened? A couple, like, moving forward, I come back to America, and the day after the anniversary of September 11th, my best friend gives me an email. She also studied theology. She studied from the St. John Institute of Marriage and Family in Austria and Rome. And I want to give you a history of why St. John Paul the Institute of Marriage and Family started. It started from the prophecies of Fatima, of Our Lady of Fatima. What happened, Sister Lucia, when she got older and she became a nun, Our Lady told her that the last battle of the end time is between Satan and the family. That is the last battle. So that's why St. John Paul II started John Paul Institute to defend families, the way God wanted us to live out his commandments and to love each other. And so what happened on that September 11th anniversary last year, the email was from her colleague, her friend, who she used to go to school with there. She said that all the professors from the past got fired. She got fired. She's not going to teach anymore because it was based. They're replacing new people who will change what God intended, what the meaning of the family was meant to be. And he's changed. They're going to change it, and those are going to be the new professors now. And so for me, that broke my heart because the devil has infiltrated the church and is going to break up God's love it's breaking up what God meant for the family to live and love together in the image and likeness of God in love. So that was September 11th, and then in October 6th, the Pope had a called the Amazon Synod. It's with the popes and some of the bishops. It was in the Amazonian region in Latin America. And a synod is where the Pope and some of the bishops come together, and they were wondering how are they going to bring Jesus Christ to them. But what's interesting, what happened, there was this figure that was brought into the Vatican gardens. It was like a wooden statue of a woman who was naked with breasts shown, but breasts, and for me as a Catholic, that's not Jesus Christ. That's not who we worship. And even more, not only did they take it to the Vatican gardens, they brought it into St. Peter's Basilica. That is like the heart of where we worship Jesus Christ. And then down the street from the Vatican is a Carmelite church. This Carmelite church is very significant because I'm going to become a third order secular discalced Carmelite, as I said earlier. And our founder is the prophet Elijah. The prophet Elijah in 1 Kings 18, he went against Jezebel's prophets and 450 Baal prophets of Jezebel. It was because of the violation of the first commandment, not to have any idolatry and to worship other unknown gods. So then at that moment, in my heart, when I saw all this, I felt that I did not want to abandon my faith during this time that we're going to enter. I also didn't want to just prepare for this battle. I wanted to triumph and win under Jesus Christ. And then at the same time, I don't know what to do. Many church leaders didn't know what to do. Not that many said anything. And I was afraid because I didn't want to lose my faith. And more importantly, in my heart, I want to go to heaven, and I want to face God when I make it to heaven. And I realized that I lived a life of love. And also the life that he gave me to live in this earth at this time, I didn't waste. And then at the same time, I didn't know what to do. I felt alone. We have no priest really leading us, telling us, this is bad, only so few. Then also in my church, there are some people that are preparing for the end times. And during the homily, when a priest speaks to all of us, one priest got up and started mocking these people and saying the end time's not going to happen, okay? And at the same time, a couple of years ago, I had a spiritual director and he died. then my priest that I've known for over 20 years, he gets kicked out and as a priest because of sexual misconduct. So I don't even have him anymore. So who can I run to? Then my spiritual director, what he taught me to do was, if you want to know what God is saying to you, you take the Bible and you open it up and you trust God completely. And whatever your eyes fall upon, that's what the Holy Spirit, that is what God is telling you at this moment. And over I did it because I did not know what to do. And I kept opening up to Ezekiel 34 over and over a couple times. And what did it say? It said that the shepherds, who are the priests, are abandoning their flock. It said that they're getting rich off of them. I mean, I'm putting it more in updated and modern terms, okay? They're getting rich off of them. Also, the priests are not healing them. They're when they're weak and when they're sick and not leading them. And most importantly, the priests, since they're not there, the sheep are getting eaten by the beasts. I mean, imagine, this is what's happening now. So then when I look down more in the Bible in Ezekiel 34:11, what does God say? God himself says that he will look for his sheep and he will pasture them himself. He will not only pasture them, but deliver them from darkness, feed them, and heal them. And I thought about it. Think about it when the end time comes, okay? Think about just people who are professionals, a pilot. Okay, if he's gonna crash, like he's flying and suddenly then his engine stops and he's gonna crash, do you think he wasn't trained on what to do? Of course. And then think about if someone had a brain tumor. Do you think they're just gonna take any surgeon or doctor? No, they're gonna take the best specialist to remove that brain tumor. So why would God abandon us at this time? Why would God not have a plan right now? Why? So that's what's the greatest thing I figured out. I don't need to figure out the plan. God the Father, Jesus Christ, the Holy Spirit, the breath of God is telling us what to do. And I realize I want to know that plan because God is omnipotent. It means he's all powerful. He's omniscient. He's all knowing. And most of all, what is God? He is love. He will not abandon us. So then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna look for this plan. I'm gonna find this plan how to conquer this crazy end time battle that's coming. And so I forgot to say that I am a filmmaker with my brother. We own a film production company. We write, produce, direct, and shoot name brand commercials. We've been doing this for over almost 10 years now. Our clients are LensCrafter, Doritos, the NBA. So I was like, okay, we're gonna make documentary for God. We're gonna reveal this, whatever we were learning and finding, we're gonna reveal God's plan for this time. And so, but then there's a problem. I've never made a film before. I only do commercials, short films. And I already wrote 7 film scripts. They're 120 pages each, and they're dusty right now in the bookshelf. And at the same time, my brother and I, we love each other, but oh God help us, okay? For a 30-minute commercial, 30 second, not 30 minutes, 30 second, it's World War III between us, okay? So imagine a full-length film, working for months together, 24/7, 10 hours sometimes a day. We're not gonna make it. We're gonna be dead before we start. But then what happened, I said, okay, I just got to do this. Something in my heart was like, let's do this. I have to do this. And so as soon as we committed, it's so interesting. A film, what is it? Let me say that. A company that makes films, a film festival. That's it, a film festival in Michigan. They find our film production company and ask us if we want a table in a restaurant that they to find actors and actresses for free. I couldn't believe that. Of course we're gonna do it. Like in a very expensive restaurant in it's called in Royal Oak, Michigan. If you know what that is expensive. And so we said yes. And the day that we were auditioning for actors and actresses, it was in the middle of the snowstorm. I don't know if you know Michigan, it is cold, it is below freezing. So as soon as we go to the parking lot, before we go to this restaurant, it's snowing, and then we had to go to a parking spot and we had to pay parking. And my brother, he never wears a jacket. It's snowing, it's below zero. He goes to the machine and it's not working. Okay, then he runs in the car to me all cold. I'm cold. You know, we have to be there in like 10 minutes. We're rushing. And then it takes him 30 minutes. It takes him 30 minutes just to find the parking spot. That's it. And then so when we get to the tables, usually when we make name brands and we're auditioning actors and actresses, they think they're going to be famous, okay? They think this is their ticket. So usually the audition line is back all the way. It's all the way down, okay? This time crickets, because it's for a documentary and people don't think they're going to get famous off of this, so not many people. But then we just moved on. And then what happened, we decided to keep going. And a lot of filmmakers I know, directors, they have taught me, who made their own film, that when you decide to make your film for the first time, magically all these people come. All the right people who you need will come to you. The actors, actresses, that's what started happening. Musicians. And then at the same time too, what happened, in our documentary, we have footage of the actual miracle that took place. It will be in our documentary. And on top of it, I've never made a film before, and it took less than 5 months to complete, from the idea all the way to the execution, to the final product. Can you believe that? And it's called The Woman of the Apocalypse. The woman is Our Lady, her warning. And it will come out in 2 weeks, and it's about an event that will trigger the end time, the final battle between God, the devil, and his children, their children's. I mean, you know what I mean, like God's children and his army, and the devil's children and their army. And then what did I learn from this? I learned that with the Carmelites, thank God I kept my heart open, because if I waited for the Antichrist, it would have been too late. Because think about it. If you're a warrior, okay, you need to prepare mentally, physically, spiritually, or you're not going to be ready. It would have been too late. And then at the same time, I realized that I love making films for humanity, to help them and to make the world a better place, and also to help bring them to heaven. And also, when you decide to do something, the right people will come. God will bring those right people for you. And I cannot believe it. We completed the film. And at the same time too, even the more when I was writing this script, I was directing it, I realized that, you know, God really is my Father, and he loves me. I'm not afraid anymore. He has a plan to conquer evil, and he gives us hope, and I'm a child of God. And at the same time, because I'm a child of God, I'm going to fight with all my heart with love, and we're going to triumph with Jesus Christ. We have nothing to fear. And please check out the documentary, The Woman of the Apocalypse, her warning, and 2 weeks. God bless you.